Fitness again, and he's already scored 6 this season in 5 games. Glenn Hoddle, a young midfield star, has also been in exceptional form for Tottenham, and he once again takes the number 4 shirt in this Tottenham team. Spurs in fact field an unchanged side, no problems with injury, and with a 100% home record to defend. Last week we saw Pat Jennings in an Arsenal shirt. His successor Barry Daines now gets the chance to establish himself with Tottenham. As for Fulham, still reeling after the flight of George Best, manager Bobby Campbell names a side that includes former Spurs full-back Ray Evans at 2 and former Spurs junior John Margerison as sub. It's the first Fulham visit here in the league game, in fact, since 1967. And in their 4 league games so far this season, they've scored only once, and that from a penalty. Spurs have done pretty well for crowds so far this season, in spite of playing second division football. And the referee today is Mr. Tom Bune from Sussex. So away we go, Spurs attacking the goal to our left in white shirts and black shorts. Fulham in a change strip of all red with black stockings. Lacey up well, a big tall man there, will win a fair number of balls in the air, I would have thought, during the coming 90 minutes. Spurs have made just the start to their second division career that they would have wanted to, in the hope of bouncing straight back into the first division. And Fulham, for their part, have really struggled along in these first few games of the season, largely because they just haven't been able to put the ball in the net. 1 in 4 games. Here's Taylor. Well, that was struck away as far as McNabb. Terry Naylor. And a throw given to Tottenham. Neil McNabb with it. Here's Hoddle. Chris Jones finding McNabb. Return for Naylor. Long high ball there, testing Payton, and he fisted off the head. And a shot by Jimmy Holmes, just over the top there. Well, Payton felt that his fists were the best weapon there. Wasn't a really powerful punch off the head of Duncan, falling to Holmes, and back over the top. And now McNabb. Duncan. Cross to Chris Jones on the far side again. Lacey was in very close attendance. Hoddle dinking that little cross in there. Pratt and Fulham in their defence. And a certain amount of disorder allowed that to go a long, long way. Lovely, delicate little cross in again by Glenn Hoddle. A beautiful touch he's got. Just flicked on by Pratt. So Jerry Payton. Hoddle. Nice chest trap there, but that might be a little ambitious. Except that he was giving it back again. Now Jones, hit first time, a yard wide. Again, very nearly making something out of nothing. It was Evanson who gave that one away, and Hoddle took full advantage. A nice ball played through there for Chris Jones. Story for Bullivant. Mitchell tried to get the touch there towards Maybank. Throw which Peter Story stealing a few yards, and the linesman won't let him do it, and the referee's coming across to have a word with him. Well, they're taunting him with Arsenal reject. He's still got a lot of football left in him, I'm sure, for Fulham. Of course, many was the battle Peter Story had here in the great Arsenal-Tottenham derby games. Now with another throw for... No, it's a free kick, in fact, for Fulham. which Ray Evans will take. Turned in towards Lacey. Well, no whistle went and no flag was up. And Spurs were a little bit casual there, and I think Lacey was maybe a little surprised to find himself right out there, but there was certainly no suggestion of offside, and Spurs escaped that one. Fulham's throw. Hoddle, Taylor, Perryman. And here's McNabb. Taylor, Holmes, Terry Naylor. Will he get to that one before it gets to the corner flag? Yes. Crossed in well there towards Chris Jones, a backward header, and again that man Lacey is there for Fulham. McNabb, Holmes. So a left foot shot was on the way, it falls for Peter Taylor, chipped in again there towards Jones, and a good save again. Ball falling nicely for Peter Taylor there, in a bit of space. He might have shot, but he decided to chip it in, and Jones's header was saved by Payton. Free kick to Tottenham, and Perryman will take it. Bit of a push there on John Duncan. Oh, and Chris Jones somehow from 7 yards out put it high over the crossbar. An unbelievable miss, that one. It looked to be a push on John Duncan, but the ball eventually coming through to Chris Jones. And it looked a formality putting it wide of Payton. Well, he did that all right, but he also put it over the crossbar. Perryman just retrieving that situation when Maybank might have looked dangerous, and now will Dane stop the corner? No, he won't. So a corner for Fulham, and the man obviously who might be of considerable danger to Tottenham in this situation is the big number 5. There he goes, John Lacey. Going to stand right on that Tottenham goal line. John Evanson with the corner for Fulham. Held in again. Well, a head and a fist got to that one and took it as far as Ray Evans. Chipped in again. Good idea by Evans, but always carrying just a little too high to clear the bar. Lacey jumping again, that time against Jones. And Taylor getting the better of Strong on that occasion. But Evanson was back. Come here with a certain amount of caution for them. They're not really at the moment springing very many people forward. They're packing that midfield and defence, and they're denying Spurs as much space as they possibly can. Now that's interesting. Hoddle high there. Payton fisting it away, and John Pratt knocking it back over the top. In fact, when that ball came out for John Pratt, he probably had a bit more time than he allowed himself there. Getting it on the half volley. Not really getting over it. Evanson, Strong. Nice skill by Holmes. Now Pratt. Played in just a little bit behind those front men for Tottenham. And here's Evans again for Fulham. Bullivant. That's not a bad ball either for Maybank. Evanson couldn't quite get it and certainly couldn't confuse him into an error, but it might yet come for Fulham, and in the end Spurs scramble it away with Osgood, and now a chance for a Tottenham break. Taylor, Story going back with him, lovely, oh, and a beautiful header there by Duncan. A real masterpiece of a move that by Tottenham, after it looked as though they were in danger at the other end, and Taylor did everything right, because he hit that ball at exactly the right height, into the space in front of the front runners. Duncan was there with his head, but he hit it straight at Jerry Payton. A beautiful move. Greenaway.
Holmes. Duncan. Pratt. Really getting hard in on that situation. Playing it now for John Duncan again. What a lovely idea, but also a good quick spot by Jerry Payton in that Fulham goal. Pratt playing that ball wide of the defence. Oh. Now, no goal. Thought for a moment that Tom Bume was going to turn around and point to the centre, but there was an infringement clearly on the goalkeeper. Going back to that ball of John Pratt's though, played nicely for Duncan, but the keeper was quick to spot it. And then after that we had that slight shenanigans, but obviously there was an infringement there by Duncan on Payton, although Duncan put the ball into the net, no goal. Well, that's a bit of a silly thing to do. They very nearly gave it to him again, except that Lacey recovered. So Fulham want to take breath and sort themselves out a little bit for the moment. But certainly they've defended well. Certainly in numbers. They've come with so many midfield players and so many defenders, and really with an apology of an attack. But they've succeeded in thwarting Tottenham, who've had more of the game in this first half. But for Ray Evans, who really has probably played as well as anybody in this Fulham defence. An extraordinary miss by Chris Jones, and then a brilliant run by Peter Taylor and a header by John Duncan, the nearest that Tottenham have come to a goal in this first half. So a lot more to come on the big match today. We'll leave you for just a moment with a half-time score here at White Hart Lane, which is Spurs 0, and then who are about to tick off now. At the start of the second half, the first half goalless. And the ball straight back with Jerry Payton. Naylor now for Tottenham. Duncan being pushed that time by Lacey. A free kick then for Tottenham. Which Hoddle will take. Osgood again on the far side. Duncan making a little break there, but it didn't look like reaching him. Hoddle again. Might get another chance if he can shake off Evanson. That's a good looking cross there. Duncan with a header. Goal kick. Crossed that ball in well under pressure, and Duncan is so alive to that situation. Evans. 10 minutes now of the almost of the second half, just over 10 minutes of the second half gone. Now Mitchell, played for Maybank. He could have stabbed at that one. It might have been interesting. In the end, it's Steve Perriman who turns it back. Maybank getting the better of Holmes. Played there for Mitchell. No, Eliasman was flagging on the far side. There was an infringement there, and the goal will not count. Well, maybe it was Maybank offside. The infringement was over there, and even though Mitchell put the ball in the net, it doesn't count. Here's Tate. Little low cross stuck in there. Oh, and so nearly for Chris Jones. He bursts on the scene every so often, Peter Taylor. It's a fairly patchy performance by him, but when he does things, they very often produce all sorts of danger. Peter Taylor, a nice little turn there, a very good ball played into that 6-yard area, and Chris Jones couldn't quite get on the end of it. Five minutes now to go. A bit of rough and tumble over there. Peter Storey involved in it, and Storey's going to have his name taken. Peter Story's going to get the yellow card. Went diving in there. And the yellow card. So it's a free kick for Tottenham. Duncan. Fulham. Maybank. Story. Well, Brian Green away, but Tottenham coming away again with Hoddle. Oh, what a ball that was for Chris Jones. All of 35 yards, weighted to perfection, and Payton down at the feet of John Duncan. And another interesting breakaway there by Tottenham, but clearly it was the ball by Hoddle that really was the thing that opened it all up. Well, we're left with a quarter of an hour. Spurs 0, Fulham 0. Green away. Naylor. Taylor. That's a good cross. Duncan's on the far side with the header for Chris Jones. And at last they've broken that Fulham deadlock. And Peter Taylor sitting down by the corner flag. Well, there's the man who made it, Peter Taylor, bursting on the scene again. He got that over by the byline. A lovely long cross. John Duncan up well, unselfish as ever, down for Chris Jones, and hooked it in from close range to Jones. Spurs 1, Fulham 0. Just under a quarter of an hour to go. Peter Taylor made it. And Chris Jones bending over there, the man who scored it. With a big assist too from John Duncan. So Fulham have been broken down at last. They came to defend, or maybe they would say they were made to defend by the onslaughts of Tottenham, but certainly they've shown little inclination to come forward themselves. And now if they're going to save anything from this game at White Hart Lane, which has been so disappointing for so long, they've got to come and show what they can do up front now. Strong going in there. Mitchell trying to hit something on the turn. And away goes Peter Taylor again. Fulham right back with him. Taylor putting on all the tricks now. That's not a bad cross either, but it was just that little bit too close to Payton. Well, the referee has stopped the play to have a word. Something maybe that happened off the field. John Pratt and Peter Story are standing innocently, and obviously satisfied the referee, whatever it was. Evanson. Hitting low this time towards Mitchell. It might have gone through to Greenaway. Evans is there. This is the longest spell of attack, and Spurs have brought everybody out. An incredible line. That whole line of defending white shirts came out as one man, but they were still caught by the well-timed run of Ray Evans. Bullivan crossing it in. Strong is right in there. Linesman flagging again. And a foul on the Spurs keeper, Harry Danes. And in fact it's Les Strong who's down and prostrate in the box there, in the goal mouth there. Well, Well, he really, as that long cross came in from Ray Evans, he really went flying in there to try and get something for Fulham. This strong, okay. It'll be a free kick to Tottenham. Hoddle, bit of skill there. Taylor. Naylor. Duncan again, wanting the ball in the air, getting it in the air, but not quite getting up enough to beat Evans and Lacey. McNabb and Story over in that corner there. And McNabb got the better of him. Lacey now, Hoddle. Pratt with a shot. Oh, and it took a good save. Well, a shot out of nowhere there from John Pratt. Hoddle looked as though he might try and get something. In the end, it was a short ball to John Pratt. Hit first time. Naylor. And Hoddle. And McNabb. Long shot, tipped over. Taking a surprise long shot there, and well timed that tip over by Jerry Payton. Back to the corner, and Gale with the leap, and a free kick for Tottenham, or for Fulham rather. Jerry Payton coming roaring out of his goal, knows that every second counts. I think he might be too late even so. The referee has checked with both linesmen. The time is up. And it's Mitchell giving that throw to Evanson. Whistles going around the ground now, but not from Mr. Bune. And Fulham look again as Evanson crosses that ball in there. Lacey had gone up there, and McNabb with a chance of making a quick break. Naylor playing it forward again, but Taylor halted in his stride by the final whistle. One goal and a victory for Spurs, but little else. Chris Jones, who got the vital goal 15 minutes or so from the end. Peter Taylor with that beautiful cross of his was the man who made it, helped in between times by a very unselfish head down by John Duncan. Not a lot to talk about in this game, to be honest, except that the final scoreline at White Hart Lane is Spurs down with colds. Terry Naylor, Neil McNabb, John Duncan and Peter Taylor, but they've all recovered, and they've lost only one of their last 15 league games. And for Don McAllister, a good spell. He's in the centre of the defence now that Keith Osgood has gone, and he's been doing a good job there for Tottenham. The referee today is Derek Nippard. He comes from Christchurch in Dorset, and yes, the rain is still thundering down as we await the start. So there we go then, Spurs attacking the goal to our left in the all-yellow strip. Fulham best identified if you're watching in black and white with the black shorts. Spurs having beaten Fulham 1-0 when the teams met earlier this season at White Hart Lane. Don McAllister in very quickly again there for Tottenham. It's a good ball here for John Pratt. From Glenn Hoddle, beautifully played. Pratt playing it in again, but John Lacey there for Fulham. Jay Armstrong doing the pointing, Northern Ireland international, striker and Spurs substitute today. Barney the physio and Johnny Wallace alongside him. Naylor sweeping that cross in again there. Good jump though by Lacey. Pratt getting the loose one. Now will he fire one in there? Duncan, and offside. Linesman had his flag up straight away, and the ball fell nicely for John Duncan into the back of the net, but flag was up, whistle had gone, goal disallowed. The rain still sweeping down here.
Very, very difficult conditions, but both sets of players at the moment giving us a very good game of football. Strong with a throw for Fulham. McNabb, very, very much involved. And there's a ball for Duncan. Evans is the Fulham man, and Duncan's gone past him. Now, has he got people up in support? Taylor's right in there, and Taylor! Beautifully taken, and it was always on for Tottenham. From the moment John Duncan outwitted Ray Evans and got to the byline and pulled it back with Taylor coming in fast, it was always on, and Taylor stretched out his legs superbly, and the ball was in the back of the net. Fulham nothing, Spurs 1, 10 minutes gone, Peter Taylor the scorer. But unquestionably it was John Duncan who scored so many for Tottenham, who made this one for them at Fulham today. Gale. Margerison swept for Les Strong. Well, Barry Daines was down and he had to grab that fairly closely to him because Evanson was coming in quickly. Naylor to Hoddle. Pratt to Hoddle. Holmes in a lot of space on this side. Picked out well by Hoddle. Deep cross again. Margerison making a bit of a mess of it. Hoddle finding Peter Taylor now. Glenn Hoddle. Now can Duncan get on to their end of that chip? Oh my word, that could so easily have been Terry Bullivant pulling through his own goal. Came roaring in there and put it behind for the corner. Just a little bit of anxiety in that Fulham defence at that moment. Now, more anxiety coming their way as Pratt takes his corner. Backward header, over the top from John Pratt. Jerry Payton feeling just a little bit exposed there once or twice. Certainly there's been a lot of activity in his penalty area so far in this opening 17 minutes. Lacey keeping an eye on Lee, two very tall men. Margerison for Fulham. Strong. Mitchell, always capable of goals, and finding a good pass there for Evanson. A long cross now towards Greenaway. Played back this time for Mitchell. Well, he hit that one, but he went straight at McAllister. Now can Greenaway turn it back again? Straight at Holmes this time. Can Tony Gale turn it back again? Mitchell again right in there, and play on, said the referee. And McNabb is only too happy to do that with a long pass to get Peter Taylor on his way. Duncan's up in support, so too is Colin Lee. But he really didn't need any support as he whipped in that cross just past the post and into the side netting. Well, Lee and Duncan were right up there. Peter Taylor decided to go on it on his own, and into the side netting it went. Now Brian Greenaway, Evanson and Mitchell are up there, and Naylor deciding to dummy that one away from Mitchell and allow it to go, but Mitchell in possession now for Fulham. Margerison with so little space there, and Hoddle right with him, and he's got a corner. Richard Money up there, number 6. Number 8, Tony Gale, but John Lacey has gone right onto the goal line in making a run towards the near post. In fact, number 5, there he is, the big man. Well, Gale almost got his head to that. the end, it was Jimmy Holmes who forced Fulham away. Money. It's gone off Pratt. Danes came running for that one, and Spurs might be in a bit of trouble here. Margerison! Oh, great save though by Barry Danes. Well, it's still not away yet. It'll come back in a moment to Perryman, and he got it away. What a lovely piece of play on the turn by Margerison as that ball came into him, and a great save by Barry Danes. Now it's with Mitchell, and somehow they got that one away as well. Chipped in again, and just over the top that time from Margerison. Let's have a better look at that first piece of action of his, because as the cross came over, it really was a beautiful shot on the turn, and Danes was away out of his goal on one side, sprang to the other side and kept it out. And then just a moment ago, another good Fulham raid where Margerison finished by just curling it over the Tottenham crossbar. Two fair-looking moves by Fulham. Greenaway's header, but straight for Perryman, and Perryman made hard work of that as well. And the back pass from Holmes, and he's put Mitchell in, and it was oh so close. Jimmy Holmes, you saw there with his arms in the air saying, "I'm sorry about that one," and that back pass really put Mitchell in with a chance. Danes came scrambling off his line and got just enough touch on it to put it wide. So a corner for Fulham, coming back hard into this game now, but still a goal down. And the whistle had gone, the flag was up. Must have been an offside on that. Ball must have gone over the byline or something, because it's a kick which he's taken from the corner of the 6-yard area by Barry Danes. Needless to say, with a lot of Tottenham supporters tucked in underneath that roof of the stand. And I imagine a few Queen's Park Rangers and maybe a few West Ham supporters with their game called off just a couple of miles away down the road. And a free kick to Fulham now. So McAllister going back into the centre of the defence. He played there with Bolton, of course, and a couple of times with Mike England for Tottenham, but it's his new role there now since the transfer of Keith Osgood to Coventry. And now, away goes Peter Taylor, 1 against 1 as he faces the keeper. Fulham in pursuit. He's gone past them. Oh, and he slipped. Oh, my word. What a tragedy for Peter Taylor. Everything about it was right. Suddenly free, and Fulham in pursuit, faced only by Jerry Payton, and he got past Payton and then slipped and then lost everything that he'd gained. Mitchell on the far side. Now it's Bullivant. Now it's Gale with Evans free on this side. Now calling for an accurate cross again, hitting a little lower this time and against Jimmy Holmes for the corner. So a corner for Fulham. Greenaway with it. Danes under a lot of pressure. Well, how on earth did they not get that in? Well, John Mitchell cannot believe that he didn't put that one in. And John Evanson was there as well. What a lot of scurrying in that Tottenham 6-yard area. And Spurs still leading a goal to nil. Long kick by Don McAllister. The high jump there by Richard Money. Margerison. Strong. Strong. Mitchell. He couldn't change direction quickly enough with Bullivant. And now Lee trying to get Taylor through. There's going to be a collision there, and it's Jerry Payton, and chance now for Duncan. And Payton dribbled it back into the box to pick it up. Well, that was always going to be a four-sided collision, and heaven knows where it would go as they all collided on the edge of the box. And it fell for John Duncan, and he couldn't force it home, and in the end it was Jerry Payton outside the penalty area who dribbled it back in and then fell on it. And now a chance, shoved off the ball. Surely that looked a penalty to me. Well, that looked a clear-cut penalty to me. Certainly seemed to be a push in the back from where I was sitting, but clearly not from where referee Nippard was standing. Peter Taylor. That's an interesting cross. No, it's not. It's gone behind. Couldn't quite pull it back enough. It's a goal kick to Fulham. I think in spite of the conditions, as we come towards half-time, the crowd can honestly look back on 45 minutes of good, honest entertainment and quite a few thrills to go with it, in spite of the conditions. And indeed, there goes the half-time whistle, with Spurs leading with Peter Taylor's goal 1-0, which he scored after 10 minutes and came so close to adding a second one, taking a word from Les Strong there. A tremendous run of his, and then the trip after he'd actually gone past the keeper. And Fulham, I'm sure, still claiming that John Evanson might have had a penalty in the closing stage of that first half. But a half-time score at rainy Craven Cottage then. Fulham 0, Spurs 1, and we'll be right back with you soon. Now Greenaway, cross towards Mitchell, and Perryman getting it away. There's Taylor, Naylor, and now McAllister telling Lee to run on, and then playing it short and square here for Naylor. Hoddle, a little chip through there for Duncan. Will it go over Payton's head? Oh. Well, Hoddle did well there, and Duncan turned well. It wanted just a little more firmness on it because Payton was off his line and found it difficult to turn, but he managed to turn enough to grab that ball before it went over the line. McAllister, Hoddle. Again, Naylor willingly making that run for him. Margerison got there first. Not too happy with the way that Naylor whacked into the back of him there either. I don't think I should have been as well. Quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Spurs still leading 1-0. Duncan now on the ball for Tottenham. Lee. Oh, and he very nearly played that for McNabb. Instead, it comes to Naylor. All the time in the world to get a good cross in. And Lee was right in there again. Here's his Hoddle. A curler, whoop, just so close. Referee coming up to have a word, and that's nice to see. He's enjoying it as much as anybody. And Hoddle, aware again of what was on, found the skill, but not quite the range. McNabb. Fulham throw. Well, with Bolton not playing today, it would be psychologically very useful for Spurs to get a couple of points in that challenge at the top of the second division. At the moment leading 1-0. Gale played on for Evanson. Greenaway, Mitchell and Margerison. Evanson shot and it called and it got. A very good save indeed from Barry Daines. Evanson really striking that ball so well. And Daines bringing off another very good save indeed. And a good catch. Looks as though Fulham are going to take Terry Bullivant off any moment now, and Tony Marnie is coming on. That's a goal kick. A little over a quarter of an hour to go. So Terry Bullivant will come off. In fact, he's already gone off to the dressing room. And Tony Marnie comes on. Spelt Mahoney, but he tells me he likes to be called Marnie. McNabb. Hoddle. Duncan. Oh, Hoddle linked up nicely again with this attack. A little touch through there for Taylor. On for Hoddle again. Oh, delightful. But also disallowed. Well, the skills were undeniable, even though in the end they were illegal. At least the move was. It was a lovely passing movement for Tottenham, involving Duncan, involving Hoddle all the way, and a touch from Taylor. And Hoddle's final shot into goal. Margerison, the referee held it up as long as he could. I think he wanted to play the advantage there, but he felt that Margerison had lost it, and then the Fulham number 11 got to his feet and carried on. So it's a free kick for Fulham. Money with it. Now Strong, and Spurs have pulled everybody back. So it'll be quite a task for Fulham to find some way past it all. Evanson knocking it in, and they've done it! Greenaway! Well, that's a shaker for Tottenham. It really seemed that they had got this sewn up, and they pulled everybody back from that free kick. And it was crossed in there by Evanson, allowed to go a long, long way. There was Brian Greenaway on the far side, and past Barry Daines it went for Fulham 1, Spurs 1. Scorer, well, that was John Evanson who made it. The scorer was Brian Greenaway. And it goes back to Jerry Payton. Well, Bobby Campbell can afford to be a little bit relieved. That looks as though they might have saved a point. Greenaway once more. Stopped, but at the expense of a throw. The rain sweeping down again. A game with seconds to go, and standing all square at 1-1. Well, it might come for Mitchell again. It might come for Evanson again. It might come for Lacey. And that caught Perryman, and that might have gone anywhere. Strong now. What a finish we've got. And they've got a corner for them. They'll have time to take it, but not much more. Jerry Payton at the other end is up and down his penalty area, keeping himself warm and fresh, and with an eye what's going on at the other end as that corner comes in again for Fulham. And still Spurs haven't got it away, but that's the final whistle, and it finishes 1 each, with Peter Taylor having got the goal that put Spurs ahead in the first half. And it looked that Spurs had got a pretty firm grip on that game until young Tony Marnie, who just seen him go out of the picture there, nodded on that kick from John Evanson, and Brian Greenaway was there at the far post to get an equaliser with 5 minutes to go for Fulham. So a lot of credit to both sides, battling away through very difficult conditions. They got worse as the game got on, as the pitch got muddier and the ball became more difficult to move. In the end then, a final scoreline at a very, very damp Craven Cottage. Fulham 1, Spurs 1.
Well, in spite of the conditions, a good afternoon's work by both teams. That point put Spurs on top.